backup history. Wesley asks, can I get the slide presentation? Yes, if you go to managedonlinebackup.com, you can download it right from that website. So managedonlinebackup.com. It's called Program Deck. But go talk to your partner specialist, and they'll be able to get any information you want. So call in the partner specialist line, 877-896-3611, extension 1, and you go ahead and contact it there. All right, Wesley left his email address. Not really how we're operating here, but we'll make sure that he gets in contact with our team. So we have the program here, and this just shows, you know, backup history. So it's pretty plain English, and what you're looking at in the summary. And again, all this stuff is available in Windows, so you can monitor this with any of your monitoring programs pretty much. But go to the wizards, and real quickly we're going to create, I'm just going to do a quick run a backup, show you image stream and how the backup would work, and then show you how the recovery would look. And then I'll give you the Kindle code that you could take to our partner specialists. So thanks for holding on a minute. So backup wizard. So you can select your volume that you want to back up. I'm just going to select the E volume. You hit next, and it's going to ask you, where do you want to put it? Typically you'd say, okay, well I need to put it to a network location, and you know, that's your staging server or your backup server, you know, whatever that is. Or for now, I'm just going to hit the F drive, just for demo purposes. Hit next. Now we have the scheduler. Typically you do a full every weekend and then incremental throughout the week. The reason that's so typical is because it comes from historical limitations in media and recovery. So the media gets full, you need to change it out, or the recovery process includes a very manual and time-consuming, okay, I got to recover the full, then I have to recover each sequential incremental backup until I get to where I want to be. Well, you don't have to do that anymore, especially when it comes to the off-site backup. We have this continuous incremental technology where you run a full backup, and then you just run incrementals. And right now we're set to run incremental every 60 minutes. And that's really the best way to go about it. You don't have to run another incremental or another full backup, you know, until you really feel like it, because the recovery will automatically append all the different incrementals you have available. So I can just put, so this would be a pretty typical strategy for our customers would be, okay, I'm just going to run an image-based backup off or to the staging machine. This full backup is going to happen, and then I'm going to do incremental backups every hour from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday through Saturday. So we hit next, gives them some compression methods. So standard compression typically gets around a 50% compression, but of course that depends on what you're talking about. Like Eric, for example, was talking about some large digital images, you know, 8 gigabytes. So reminds me of an article that just came out, is how many megapixels is enough for professional photographers. But yeah, so you come through and you can, you know, compress as much as, you know, the data on your system will let you compress, and then high, typically a little more at about 60 to 70%. And that takes a little longer to run. You can encrypt the data as it goes to your staging machine. So you hit the encryption option and you select the encryption. We are encrypting before we go off site, while we're transferring the data, and once we're at the data center. So it's a 256-bit AES before transfer. It's transferred over 128-bit AES SSL tunnel. Then it's going to be stored at additional 1024-bit AES, which is at the first data center, and then geographically separately of that data center, it's going to be backed up to a separate one. So we have 5 data centers here in the States, 1 in Canada, 1 in the UK, 1 in Kiev, 1 in India, and 1 in Australia. So if you have any needs to be country specific, like just in Canada, just in the UK, then you don't have that geographic redundancy. But if you're in the States or don't have that requirement, then you do. Commands, you can do pre-snapshot, post-snapshot, post-backup commands. So some of you have, you know, there's proprietary databases out there that still don't even work with VSS. So you can just run a quick script command to pause the database so that you can take a snapshot of it without having a crash consistent snapshot. Crash consistent is no good. Crash consistent means I have, Tim buying a MiG fighter from Eric, and it's going to cost him $30 million. So crash consistent means I could have a snapshot right in between the transaction of taking money out of Tim's account and putting money into Eric's account, which means neither of you have the 30 mil. That's no good for business. Transactionally consistent means the technology will negotiate with the databases that are running and make sure that there are no in-progress transactions, and that it'll actually request that the database pause for a split second, take a snapshot, and then continue. So you could do that or anything else you'd like to do, post-backup restarts, shutdowns, anything you like. You can also split the images up if you're so inclined, but for the most part, not truly that important or necessary. Hit next, and get a summary of what I'm going to do, and then finish, and the backups are going to run. So then I open up ImageStream, and this is to go off-site. So you take the backups, and you just go set up online backup. Again, we have some options here. So go to the options, some caching, change password, different folders to remove the cache. You go to set up online backup, and a simple file and folder view, Windows structure. So you just, I just select my whole F drive and say, okay, let's go ahead and back that up. I can see what's in it. Hit next. Schedule the online backup portion of it. So back at the end of this wizard, backup automatically without user intervention, backup when Windows user is not logged on, so Windows domain environments. I enter my Windows domain password. Put an email address for email reports, hit finish, and then it'll run on schedule. When I go to restore, you can go through the wizard. I actually prefer the classic view because I can see more and I can really expand the screen. I can see all the different machines that I've backed up data from, pull them down very simply, see the available files on here. I can select a few or whatever files I want. You have the version selection here, if there were multiple versions of that. So here I can say, okay, I just want the whole string for backup job 15. So I just take that, and I would hit recover selected. Or delete it, whatever you'd like to do. But if we go back to the wizard is very nice in some instances where, for instance, it gives you this nice little calendar view. So you can revert back to the day that there's the last backup run, and then it will update your backup set to that point. And with the image-based backup, that's very helpful. With file and folder, typically not so much. Typically it's easier to just say, I'm going to go to this specific file and then see the versioning of that. So once let's say you had to restore online and you wanted to recover from an image, you can actually just go straight into your backup drive, and you just right-click an image and hit do mount or quick mount, and it'll mount it as a virtual drive in your system. So that's really nice and helpful. But if you do go through the software, back to the wizard, hit Explore Backup, and you select the backup job that you'd like to run. So hit Backup Job 2. Gives you a summary, hit Next. And it says, hey, with Backup Job 2, you have 18 incremental files. Which one do you want? So, well, just give me the most recent. So hit Next. What drive letter do you want to recover it to? You can give it, a T drive, whatever you like to do. This is not going to be a backup, so I want it to be right as well. Say Next. Gives you the image file chain, again, the intelligent chain recovery. Hit Finish. Then it's going to launch me into the new virtual drive that I've just recovered. So there I go. Now, because it is an Exchange server, let's see some of the Exchange granular recovery. So I open up this agent. And at first it's going to ask me to select a source. So I say, okay, sure, I'll select a source. So I hit Browse, and I go to the latest drive I just recovered. So drive T, hit exchange, and go into the mailbox. I'm going to the EDB file. So automatically select the log path, very simple. Hit OK, now it's going to refresh the information I just recovered. Now I can opt, okay, well what do I want to do with this data? Do I want to export to a PST, for example, like a digital discovery, electronic discovery type of feature, legal investigation, whatever the case may be, or am I going to a target exchange server? Oftentimes you're just doing this because you're recovering a simple mail message or calendar invite or something for some user who likes to delete their stuff. So it's going to load up here. This is based on the Windows user permissions that I'm logged into currently. So I hit Great Save. Now it shows me what's active versus what I have in my backup. So let's say I have a scenario where user 1 says, they come, they say, Eric, I got to get this. I got to get this file back. There was a management document and I deleted it. I can't find it. Can you help me find it? Well, you just go to user 1, hit search, and you can further customize what you're searching through, but right now it's just through the user 1 mailbox. And say, okay, it's an attachment, and it's some sort of management attachment, like management guide. Okay, great. So I hit let's find now. Then I get the list of messages that match my query, and I can double click and launch them and see what's going on. Look here, and here's the management PDF. Perfect. So then I just open up the user's file, take this message, I just drop it into his inbox. And voila, we're recovered. Let's say we wanted all of those. So you just shift select, drag them all over. Very simple drag and drop. I can search across the board, find again, and then we get a whole list of items where this management document has gone across our network. So you can do sent from, sent to, a really powerful query tool here. Also on the recovery, you can just drag and drop a user from one server to another, and it'll override it, or you can just take the whole new database and just drag and drop onto new hardware. And you say, okay, and it'll even create the mailboxes that don't specifically exist yet. Mohammed said, this is excellent. I said, I agree, it is awesome. Or excellent, rather. So I'll cancel that. But that's it. That's pretty much the granular recovery. Very simple. You just require a MAPI 32-bit client on it, and you're good to go. All right, couple questions. We're going to open up the questions. So I'm going to give you the Kindle code, and you can take the Kindle code and go to our partner specialist. If you go to 877-896-3611 is the toll-free number you want to dial into. And the Kindle code is P as in Paul, F as in Frank, 3015. So again, PF3015, and I'll put that into the chat as well. So go talk to your partner specialist, give them your contact information, and then the code, and they'll enter you into the Kindle drawing, and this will be announced next week. Also, you'll be able to schedule a time, if not talk to them right now, about a specific ROI, return on investment, to see which program best meets your needs, get through more specifics as far as what the program can do for you, and make sure that this is a proper program for you. Not everything that's being sold is good for everyone that's buying things. So again, that's it's in the chat, PF Paul Frank 3015. And now I have some questions, and we'll finish up with some questions here as we get through it. So first, got a question from Eric regarding digital images. Some are quite large, and hundreds of them at 4,000 by 4,000 or 8 gig size. So what is the bandwidth and incremental backup done? How those backups be done, and what are backup options? Things that don't compress and don't really have change, like block level changes, it's hard to do until you get into it, but the same as any large file. It's going to use as much bandwidth as you can give it. We're going to get it done faster than anyone else. It's going to go off-site. As far as that file changing, sure, we have a, I'm sure these are not system images as far as what we're for bare metal recovery, right? These are photos. You give a resolution. So, those, they don't compress that much, so they do take time to transfer off-site. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's you just back them up and restore them. We do have, for initial backups, we do have a data seeding service called the PMU, or Physical Media Upload. This service allows you to send us an image of the backup set you'd like to take off-site, and then we'll be able to put it off-site with dedicated servers and a fast pipe that we can push it up off-site faster than you could with it. Typical turnaround on that is still about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on our queue. We'll let you know what spot you are in the queue if that becomes an issue. And then you can continue the regular backups once we're finished. Okay. Tim has a question. Does the staging machine keep a current copy of the backup? Specifically, can you do a restore from data on the staging server, or do you need to recover from the internet? Absolutely, you can recover from the staging machine. So the staging machine is your local backup for this program. The only thing the staging machine does is it gives us a nice platform to go off-site. So going off-site for is just saving you resources, so you don't have to go from some other machine. Will this backup Unix or Linux host? No, our system is Windows-based at this point. If you have map drives, like you have the staging machine, if you send data from your Unix or Linux machines to a Windows machine, then you can get it off-site from there. Any more questions, comments? Was that helpful? Does that sound good? You all looking forward to talking to a partner specialist about some more detail? Toll-free number. All right, 877-896-3611. So that's our toll-free number, extension 1. And Mohammed, it's on our website. If you go to sosonlinebackup.com, it's hard not to see our toll-free number to call in and give us money to get into the program so you can make money. Mike says this was great. Appreciate it. Eric says Eric agrees. Tim asks, are there plans to develop Linux? There are plans to develop Linux for the image creator portion, so to be able to create images from Linux boxes. But as far as going off-site, we don't yet have in our roadmap for this year a plan to have a Linux-based online backup procedure. Alex says, great presentation. Well, Alex, I appreciate it. We look forward to having you on board. So thank you all again. My name is Derek Wood. I'm the Partner Product Manager here at SOS. So as soon as you come on board, you'll probably be speaking with my team, the Partner Delivery team, and they're going to be working with you to make sure that the branding is correct, that you understand what the program is, and to make sure that we get you up and running as quickly as we can. So go ahead and talk to your partner specialist at 877-896-3611, extension 1, and we'll be more than happy to talk you all through it. So thanks. Have a good day, and then have a